The first thing the younger sister did after being reborn was snatch the red marriage cord from the girl, because she knew that once the emperor died, that man would ascend the throne, and she would become the empress, second only to him. As for the girl, she would be left with nothing but the beggar the sister had drawn in her previous life. What she didn't know was that she would one day regret this choice, because that man had a severe violent streak. In her previous life, the girl married the man. 7 years later, the emperor passed away, and the man ascended the throne, making her the empress. The younger sister, after drawing the beggar's red cord, chose to flee the marriage and suffered endless hardships. She watched with her own eyes as the girl wore the phoenix crown and ruled the world as empress. Unable to bear the gap between them, jealousy drove the sister insane. She stabbed the girl with a dagger, screaming that she should have been the one to marry the man and become empress. What no one knew was that behind the girl's glamorous life, she was merely a tool for the man to vent his rage. At the slightest displeasure, she would be beaten and humiliated, even mocked by the servants. As for the sister, she was eventually executed by the man's guards. Then, in the very next moment, the girl was reborn back to the day of the marriage lottery. Her mother urged her to draw a lot quickly. She was about to avoid her former fate and choose the beggar, when the sister suddenly stepped forward and seized the man's red cord. In an instant, the girl understood. Her sister had been reborn as well. This time, the girl willingly accepted the beggar. The next day, both sisters were married at the same time. The man's family delivered mountains of betrothal gifts with a grand wedding procession. Meanwhile, the girl's husband brought nothing of value. Dressed in coarse linen, he came alone, holding only a bouquet of wildflowers, picked from the roadside. Amid mocking laughter, they completed the wedding ceremony. Afterward, the beggar carried her in his arms, step by step, back to their shabby little home. The sister mocked her, saying she didn't even have a bridal sedan. Yet, when the sister boarded her own sedan, no servant helped her inside. Before she could even sit properly, the sedan rushed off impatiently. Back home, the simple and innocent beggar gave the girl the wild fruits he had gathered and his most treasured jade pendant. Warmth welled up in her heart. At least in this life, she had received true sincerity, overcome with emotion. A tear fell onto the jade pendant. In the next second, the pendant emitted a brilliant golden light. A beam of light shot straight into the beggar's mind. An extraordinary aura began to radiate from his body. It turned out he was not truly foolish at all, but the reincarnation of the heavenly emperor, descending to the mortal world to endure a love trial. Once the trial was over, he would regain his consciousness and rule the heavens once more. After one night, the beggar's mother sent envoys to summon him back to the heavenly palace for the ascension ceremony. Before leaving, he left the jade pendant with the girl and promised to return in 7 days, but 1 day in heaven equals 1 year on earth. This farewell lasted 7 long years. The girl raised their son alone, selling embroidered pouches on the street to survive. She endured countless sneers and bullying, yet never stopped believing that the beggar would keep his promise. On this day, during the grand ceremony to worship the heavenly emperor, the sister, now a noble lady, arrived with lavish offerings. She deliberately ordered the girl to carry the tributes, intending to humiliate